lot of these network states are cropping up physically in these territories, these special economic zones, and these host governments are giving them a lot of free rein to do what they want because they believe it's going to benefit. It's like you see there's a mutual relationship there, mutual symbiotic relationship. And this is why this is happening. And for instance, like Prospera can do anything they want, and they can in terms of like their own legal code and laws, except as it concerns criminality or the criminal code of Honduras, right? So, and some are more free than others, but what's happening is these other countries don't want to be under the thumb. Like a lot of these third world countries, they don't want to be under the thumb of the fiat dollar and the hegemony of the Western world. So there's a sea change in the way a lot of these politicos that are outside the scope of the Western world are thinking about the U.S. And I'm sure, Trump with the tariffs that he just issued probably didn't help that situation. But the way that I see it is the more these network states crop up in these physical environments all around the world, we're going to see a slow usurping of power from traditional nation states. And the reason that's going to happen is because we're going to be putting governance services on the market. We're going to be experimenting with different forms of governance with value-aligned people, as we mentioned in the definition. And what that means is over time, it forces, I use that word sort of figuratively, it forces governments to become market actors. Now, how this is going to play out over time and how much bloodshed and violence will result, I don't know. But I do know that these third world countries could end up being sort of subsumed under a network state as they grow, right? Or they could just end up being merging, because there is phenomenon over time where smaller like grassroots communities have grown up and kind of like become that ecosystem or that ecology of culture for a particular territorial region. I think Zomia maybe in Southeastern Asia is sort of like that. It's like a highland anarcho type of community. But this is how I see the future of these parallel societies ironing out. A little bit of this is my futuristic vision. We don't know exactly how it'll play out. But one thing is certain. This is happening right now. You saw the Praxis example. There's a myriad of these different communities all over the place. Balaji's is just one. Vitalik Buterin created a network state or a parallel society called Zuzalu. And Zuzalu has splintered off into a bunch of different villages, like eco-villages called zoo villages. Some are eco, some are like hacker villages. They had their first one in Montenegro in Europe. They had another one in Georgia that's specifically cypherpunk built around.